Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. After a breakout season in 2019-20, Bukayo Saka has improved his level even further in 2020-2021. In fact, he has solidified his status as one of the most promising youngsters in world football. According to Transfermarkt, in the last year, his transfer value has risen by 20 million euros, and that puts him in the top 10 in the league for transfer value rise. Although it should be noted, Transfermarkt generally underestimates players' values. But what exactly makes Bukayo Saka such a special talent? In this video we take a look. The first thing Saka has shown is immense tactical flexibility in a positional sense, having appeared in 4 different positions more than 10 times, impressing in different ways in each one, whilst maintaining a decent goal contribution rate at just 19. In 2019-20, he fulfilled a more defensive role, primarily as a left back or left wing back. In 2020-2021, his natural offensive traits have been allowed to shine higher up, only appearing at left back twice and primarily being a winger on the left and the right. Let's first assess his contributions down the left as well as in central midfield. When playing down the left, he's given a lot of attacking freedom, so there is quite some overlap between his roles as a left back, left wing back and left winger. When he plays as a left back in a 4, he has a lot of attacking freedom, as one of the deeper lying midfielders, usually Saka, drops into a pseudo left back position, which he recognizes as his trigger to move higher up the pitch. This is also very similar to his starting position as a left wing back in a 3-4-3, except it is often Tierney who begins as the left centre back. And Saka is great at maintaining the width in these phases, to always be an outlet on the left, as he rarely drifts infield. This positional sense is key in an Arteta system, who tends to use some of the elements from positional play. We see this continue further forwards, as from left wing back, he constantly has to be aware of the positioning of both Tierney and Aubameyang who partner him. When Tierney remains deep and is on the ball, Saka has to drop deeper to provide the outlet on the wing. And we even see him drift infield to create the third central midfield option to progress the ball at times, particularly when Aubameyang has drifted wide in this first phase as well. But when Tierney is playing at left centre back, in possession, he operates almost as a regular left back, pushing higher up the pitch. Saka can at times maintain this half space position, with Aubameyang wide looking to receive the ball. But more commonly, it is Saka who will move into the left wing position to allow Aubameyang to take up his more natural centre forward role. So again, you see an overlap between his left wing back duties and his role when he's a regular left winger. So, by recognizing these patterns consistently, we have seen that tactical awareness is one of his major strengths. And when receiving the ball out wide, down the left, he primarily uses his pace to drive down the line, often combining with a man on the inside to do so. He is comfortable in these wide regions on his stronger foot, so he cuts infield less often to attack the goal, and instead, he looks to pick up good crossing positions with his left foot. We see this as throughout his career, when appearing down the left, he has only scored 3 times in the league, but has assisted 10 times in that same period. So, his ability to get down the outside and create are also strengths. It should be noted, on the defensive end of things, when playing down the left, he's a front foot defender, looking to confront his man quickly to apply pressure, which can be good when he wins the ball, but there is always the risk of being bypassed. And the position Saka has most rarely appeared in is central midfield, doing so only 5 times. This has usually been on the left of a midfield 3, as so far, he doesn't have the attributes to play deeper in a 2. When playing here, Saka has a lot more positional freedom, as he still often drifts wide to the left to get more time and space on the ball, or to open up new passing lanes for those higher up the pitch. But one of his greatest strengths in this position is drifting to find space, particularly between the lines when opponents look to close down Saka. And he always looks to receive the ball on the half turn, and we have frequently seen his press resistance as he stays cool when a defender moves in on him. He uses his close control to turn his man and then quickly release a pass into a forward ahead of him, and as such helps to progress the ball and create opportunities. As a result, his ability to turn quickly and create space for himself and others makes him impactful from central regions. In recent weeks and months, we have perhaps seen Saka find his best position, out on the right, as Arteta has shifted to a 4-2-3-1. And playing with a 10, as well as a highly attacking fullback, has allowed Saka to fully flourish. he now has less onus on dropping deep and helping to progress the ball up the pitch as he does when he's on the left, and instead, he can look to remain higher to be the recipient. We see this with his progressive passes falling, whilst his progressive passes received have risen. We do at times see Arsenal look to isolate him against the fullback to allow his 1-versus-1 abilities to shine. This is usually through Bellerin inverting into the midfield to occupy the opposition winger. And 1v1, Saka's close control and low center of gravity come into play. Although he is a heavily left-footed player, he can still go both ways, often leaving defenders unsure of which way to commit, and we see him get into great crossing positions as well. The support from the 10 is also crucial, as Saka can stay extremely wide to begin with, then look to make the out-to-in run to receive a through ball or a lofted ball over the defense to then play it across the face of goal. But being left-footed, he also loves to drift infield to open up the pitch. This is facilitated by either Smith Rowe or Bellerin looking to overlap on the outside and occupying the fullback and a central midfielder. From these positions infield, Saka allows his creativity to shine, often looking to find a man wide arriving into the box, often Tierney, or a reverse ball into men making runs into dangerous zones in the box. And we have also seen his creativity rise when playing down the right. And because he cuts onto his stronger foot, we have also seen his shots per game more than triple, compared to when he plays down the right, and he has scored a few goals. But an increased goal threat is one area of his game he could improve going forwards. But when playing on the right, his creativity and 1-versus-1 ability are his biggest strengths. This season, by often being played more offensively, Saka has been fully unlocked. We see this in a few key metrics when comparing across seasons, with his defensive contribution falling, such as his pressures and tackles and interceptions per game, as well as his touches in deeper zones. At the same time, his shot creating actions, key passes, progressive passes, and more have risen. A strong start to his Premier League career means Bukayo Saka is currently one of the best youngsters in the league. But I want to know down in the comments, how do you see his career progressing? And what do you see his long-term position being? And if you want even more content whilst helping to support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/footballmadesimple. You'll get early access to videos, exclusive videos, as well as access to the upcoming FMS video podcast. As always, I'd love to give a big thanks to Mohammed Habib for helping to support FMS on Patreon and helping to make this video possible. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.